Welcome to the Soundtrack of Our Lives podcast. I'm Mackayla, and we're going to get started with the two hardest questions of all. Who are you, and what have you been up to recently?
I am Jane No, guitarist and a co-vocalist for Cheap Perfume. And we've been up to recording our third album, which we finished recording in April, but it's taken a while to put out because it takes a while to get vinyl these
Mhm.
days. And we wanted to make sure we did everything right. So we recorded that and we're really excited to release it in October. So we've just been kind of rolling out a few digital single releases over the summer.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, we're very excited.
So, how did you decide which songs to release as singles?
Oh, that's a good question. It was it was hard because we like all the songs on the album.
Good.
So we were trying to think, yeah, we were trying to think like what are the vibes. So we started, I think the first one we released was in June. Um, and that one was called Woke Mind Virus. And we wanted to release that one first, I think, because we, we were just coming off of the heels of, Elon Musk's Nazi salute and then Steve Bannon's and all these people talking shit about being woke as though it's a bad thing.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of what this song is about. Like, we should all aspire to be awake and aware and sensitive to other people. But there was like this demonization happening, and still is, of
Hmm.
like being woke. So I guess we wanted to put that out because we felt like there were a lot of conversations happening about it.
Yeah.
And then the next one we did was Down to Riot, and we were hoping that there would be people in the streets protesting a lot of the fascism that's been happening. And so we're like, this could be a good soundtrack for that, hopefully.
Did
And then
anybody use it as the soundtrack to their riot?
not that we know of yet, but if
Okay.
anyone is listening and they did, we would love to hear about it. And then the third one we put out is called OK Party, and we just thought that'd be kind of a fun party song. We wrote it about like the highs and lows of going on tour together and being on the road together and just being in a band together for 10 years because I think when I was young growing up you hear that and you're like, oh, it's just so much fun all the time, but it's really not all the time and
Hmm.
it's hard. You've got four different people, four different egos and four different visions and just all kinds of personalities, and so we love each other so deeply, like family level, but at the same time, it can be sometimes hard. So that song's about all the good and the bad.
So, when you
Yeah.
were
And then,
going, oh, sorry,
yeah.
continue.
Oh, I was going to say, we have one more coming up next month, so September. And then that one's called Dead If I Do. And it's just about the epidemic of male violence. So it's a pretty serious and
Yeah.
ragey song.
So when you go in to write these songs, do you go in with the idea of wanting to create those specific songs, or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, you mean like the writing process?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, good question. We usually do. We usually start with an idea that we want to write about, a topic that we're passionate about. Usually Stephanie and I are the ones who write all the lyrics, and we'll start with um just a topic that we're passionate about, or, not all of our songs are serious, so we have just
Hmm.
some kind of fun ones, but for the most part, we're like, we want to write a song about, in this case, the epidemic of male violence, because it's something um, that we have faced and most um, femme people have faced, and a lot of men too.
Yep.
Um, so we'll we'll just have something that's on our minds that we've been talking about with each other lately, and that we both really care about, and then we start writing together. And then usually what happens is we'll have the lyrics, and then we have sort of like this idea of how we would like it to sound musically. Hi, Stephanie. I was just describing our writing process.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
I am late.
That's okay. It happens.
And then we'll kind of add the music to it based on the vibe of the lyrics. On this album, though, there were a few instances where we started with music first and then wrote the lyrics afterward.
Yeah. How are you doing today, Stephanie?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good, thank you. It's Friday.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm in the service industry, so it's kind of like Tuesday for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm happy it's Friday for you.
Yeah, so I had just asked about, the songwriting process. We were just talking about that. Yeah.
Heck yeah. From what I caught, yeah, I like all that. I think that this album is kind of cool because everybody did like a little bit more of different stuff, kind of like how in like It's Okay to Punch Nazis, Jane wrote the bass line for that, which I always think is interesting. And on this one, Jeff wrote like some guitar parts and stuff too. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that about it too, because so Jeff plays bass and I play guitar, but I kind of forgot about that, Stephanie, how I wrote the bass line to It's Okay to Punch Nazis. And then yeah, on this one, Jeff had some cool riffs, guitar riffs and ideas. So that, and then it was also fun because on um, the cover song on the album, which is, I think we can just tell. I don't know if it's a secret or
Oh,
something, but it's I Get Wet.
so
Okay. It's I Get Wet from Andrew WK. And we had Jeff sing on it like some backup vocals, and even Dave, our drummer, sings on it, although it's really hard to pick out. He says like I get wet.
he has a robot voice.
Yeah. So we all kind of do a little bit of everything on this one.
Yeah, so you had mentioned it's been 10 years. How, or I guess, what advice would you give to somebody who's, starting a band and they're looking for that kind of longevity?
Hmm. I think that like all of the times that it feels like you hit like big walls and you want to quit, or it just feels like hard, like it's like all the moments that music isn't like fun anymore and you're like, what is going on? Why are we doing this? It's like so important to push past it
Hmm.
because there is like so much that I we wouldn't have experienced if we had given up, and like so many people we wouldn't have met or inspired. And um I think that that would have been such a like, a dishonor for everybody involved. So what about you,
Yeah.
Jane?
Yeah, I would echo that. It's like any long-term relationship too. Like you, there definitely have been times when we wanted to quit or, we get in fights with each other. And I think when you do stick with it, and can try to work through that and like own your shit, then you can keep creating together.
Hmm.
And it's deeper and better than it was before. And of course, like there are situations people shouldn't stick in, like if things can get toxic or
Of
something, but we're
course.
not talking about that. Um, it's just like any kind of creative project brings up a lot of like deep personal, I don't know, I can't think of the word. Like it's not issues, but because you're sharing what's inside of you.
Hmm.
So when you're doing that, it's like it's so personal, and doing it alongside of other people is a little bit harder, but can be really cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very vulnerable relationship in some cases, maybe not for everybody, I guess I shouldn't say, but for us it is. And so yeah, it's like it's important to like see it through. And I think that Cheap Perfume has made me a lot better for a lot of reasons. But it's like any team sport, sports, like everybody's gotta pitch in.
Hmm. How do you make sure that everyone in the band feels heard and seen?
Oh, I think we had to figure this out over time.
Hmm.
And that was tricky. I think it was honest conversations where you don't want to have them. I mean, think about it, I guess, really as like the same as like a significant other. It's like when things have gotten harder, like how did you like work through it? And it's like treating it like a relationship is important too, because everybody needs to have their space at the table to be able to have their input, like heard, seen, valued. And then uh, you have to learn how everybody needs to be heard. And that's another interesting part of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's even more vulnerable and scary to bring up an issue you might have or something that's hard to talk about with all, the three other people in the band in our case. Um, so yeah, it's just something we've had to get better at, and it takes bravery to bring up something and just kind of feeling out what people are sensitive about, how people want to be heard, how they best communicate. It's just like a ongoing learning process,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. That makes sense. Got to grow over time.
Mm-hmm.
So, for anyone who's kind of starting, what would you say is the most important thing when you're choosing your band members?
Ooh,
um, I
Jane.
think, yeah, I think the most important thing is that you like them as
Hmm.
people. Like, there might be bands who would disagree with this, but in our case, it's most important that we're friends first, or even if you're not like super close friends, at least that you like the person,
Yeah.
rather than they're the best musician in the world. And maybe that works for us because we're a punk band. So we're not like claiming to be the best at our instruments, but we we definitely wouldn't have made it this long if we didn't start with like friendship as the foundation. Um, or if we were just trying to find the best musicians. But I know that works for some people. Um,
I would also,
and yeah,
oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I would just like finding people that you like align with, like, I mean, maybe again, this is like for our kind of music that it's like political punk and that
Hmm.
it has to be, I think, more trust in each other as far as like safety is always going to be, like a factor.
Yeah.
In anything really in life, like not overtly so, but just like it should be in anything. And so, like, also though, having people that you agree like with, like on your values and your morals, because there's times that people, will put you in like political gotchas and like
Hmm.
try to, like rile you up. And I know that there's been a lot of circumstances that we've faced that we've like agreed that like I've like really been grateful that it's with these people, because I know in my heart like how they will react
Yeah.
or they will do the right thing, at least by my standards, because that's how we align.
Hmm.
So like it's, that's an extra like level like of trust that, especially if you tour and stuff too, that you want to have with those people.
So I know that like this day and age, it can be a little harder to share your political opinions. How do you guys kind of overcome that fear?
Mm.
Um,
Humor. I think a lot of the time.
yeah. Um, I feel like this band is our outlet for that. So we definitely aren't shy about talking about it with each other. And we we align on most things. Like there might be a few things where like, oh, maybe we have like slightly differing viewpoints on something, but for the most part, it's not uncomfortable in the band. We share a lot of the same thoughts and opinions, so that's helpful. Um, and then I just feel like if people have ever heard our band, they know what we think, they know what we believe. And
Hmm.
so I think it's still, again, like really easy to talk about it when it comes to people at our shows or something like that.
Right.
Just in everyday life, though, I think there's a way to do it. And depending on the context, like
Hmm.
there's a way to do it where um you can share without like, screaming in someone's face. But then also there are times when screaming in someone's face is appropriate, I think, like
Hmm.
at a protest when there's like literal Nazis.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. How do you, balance all the different political opinions that people have when they're coming to your shows?
Hmm.
Even if, assuming a lot of them have similar, but, they're also little, probably some different people.
Oh, I mean, I think a really fun example of this is Trinidad, Colorado, where Trinidad has just like a lot of really cool, like rich history. It's like, it very inappropriately was called like sex change capital of the world, but it's like in reality, like there was a doctor there that just like performed a lot of gender affirming surgeries and
Hmm.
like, like taught a lot of like over 150 other doctors how to perform.
Wow.
Um, I mean, like it was big for their economy. Like it was the whole thing. And it's notable because the first time we ever played down there, we play at this place called the Dad Lounge. And it's very good friends of ours that own that space. And, it was like there was these three people sitting at the bar and they had MAGA hats. And it's like, it's a small town. So small town vibes. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, we're gonna do this, and these people are gonna hate it, and you don't know. And they loved it. And
Interesting.
it's not to say that this was old MAGA. It's also bad. But like this was, back then, and so I don't know if their like political beliefs are still the same, but it was just more
Hmm.
interesting as far as like, like they still come to shows, and that there's just a lot more tolerance down there.
Hmm.
But I think that, you always have to prepare for like the fact that like, yeah, not everybody thinks like you. And that is a really big bummer sometimes. And then absolutely awful when it comes to human rights and having disagreements on very basic things. But I think that it's cool because it's a cool space to try to find that common ground or the things that we can agree on.
Hmm.
Jane, I don't know if you have anything to add to that. It's a very complex topic, or I guess to that part of it.
Well, it makes me think of our upcoming album title, which is Don't Care, Didn't Ask.
Hmm.
Sometimes you just have to be like, even if we feel uncomfortable, like playing in a venue and we're like, oh man, these people aren't going to take kindly to us. You just got to get up there and play it because you have to be like, don't care, didn't ask. This is what we believe. And like, if you don't like it, you don't have to listen. You don't have to get in the comments and share that you don't like it.
Hmm. People still will.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. I guess that's like one thing in life that I forget that other people don't do. Because if I just don't like something, then I just don't go around it. It's just,
Hmm.
it's very wild. Anyways.
I just ignore it if I'm like, oh, whatever, I'll move on.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's weird. That's a weird choice for you. Anyways.
Yeah. So speaking of live shows, do you guys have any particularly memorable or favorite shows that you've had?
We had a fun and memorable one on tour. Was our tour last year, the West Coast? We toured with a band, okay, called Sarah and the Safe Word, I think early 2024. And the shows were all great. We had some adventures along the way, but we got to Boise, Idaho, and the venue was badass. It was like they had pinball. It was like this two-floor venue. They had pinball everywhere. They
Ooh.
had a giant light up sign that said fuck, but they hadn't promoted the show at all. There
Hmm.
was zero people there besides the people in the bands.
Oh no.
And but then two people came and they were the only two people there, but it was really special because it was this mom and her daughter who she'd brought, her teenage daughter. They'd driven like 6 or 8 hours or something
Oh wow.
to be there just to see us. And so we basically played like a private show for them. And I didn't know if they would feel awkward about that, but they told us afterward that it was really awesome and special for them too. And so even though like it was such a disappointment that, the show wasn't promoted at
Hmm.
all, um, and it could have been such a cool show because the venue itself was awesome. Um, it was really special to have those people who were like, we drove all this way just to see you and to be able to play for them. And they were just really cool people.
Hmm. That's a really good one. That one's one of my favorite ones. Um, we got the really wonderful opportunity to open for Bikini Kill in Salt Lake last year also, which was just like, was that last year? I think it was last year. Um,
Hmm.
time isn't real apparently. Uh, but yeah, I mean like just what a beautiful experience in general, like Teenage Dream. And I know like our friends had driven and they brought their teenage daughters. And so during Rebel Girl at the end, like I grabbed the 16-year-old, 15-year-old and like brought her backstage and she got to watch it from side stage. And like that's like so cool when you get to, I think like, like Jane nailed it. It's like it's so cool when you get to like help be a part of these like memories for other folks too, especially like younger folks.
Hmm.
Yeah, makes a really big difference to me. Obviously, you can tell because it makes me a little teary-eyed. So.
That's awesome. That sounds like you guys make you guys have very memorable shows for other people.
Hmm. What a special thing to get to do with your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the times that we get stage fright ahead of time and we get nervous, like if it's a really big show or something, I have to remind myself that like we have this really unique opportunity to get up on a literal stage. We have this forum to share our voice and to share our beliefs um and hope that it inspires other people who share similar beliefs or going through some shit, and that's a gift. And so you can kind of get out of your own way, get over your shit. It's not about you. I mean, it is in a way because like you're sharing your voice, but you can kind of like get out of your own way in terms of getting over your fear so that you can just do what you want to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For someone who hasn't seen a cheap perfume show, what can they expect?
Ooh. Um, Energy feels like a good word. I think that that's one thing that we've really like worked out over the years. And it's like the energy was always there in a lot of ways, but now like I don't run into Willa or Jeff's guitars with my head very often. Like
That's
I think
good.
like we've been doing this for 10 years and it's like a fine dance and we can all be like a little crazy in the way that we want to, and not get hurt most times. So that's cool.
Yeah, Stephanie has so much energy on stage. Like I feel like we all do, but Stephanie's like extra and running around connecting with the audience. So I think connection is another thing. Like Stephanie is very good at um really seeing what's going on in the crowd and connecting with people. And we have for sure like some serious topics we sing about.
Hmm.
And so there's that kind of energy, but then also we just have fun overall. And yeah, so I always tell people like when I have, coworkers or someone who maybe I don't think is really into like right girlesque music and they're like coming to see me, I'm like, okay, so I don't know if you're gonna like the music, but I
Hmm.
can guarantee that you're gonna be entertained.
That's a fun way to say it. Well, and two, it's not always how it goes, but I find that like if you look at a lot of our pictures from some of like my favorite venues to play like High Dive in Denver, like we get like really badass girl pits, like, and I think that that's really neat. A lot of like local shows have really good like big female energy.
Hmm.
I know, like, I don't know, like our friend like Cheryl like put a dude in the like pit in a chokehold because he was like pushing like some like people that were smaller than him and was like, "Don't ruin this for them." Um, I love that. Like, I love that there feels like there's like yeah camaraderie and just
Hmm.
like and like love and like freedom. I think that that's a really big deal, and women don't get to experience that at every show.
No. What songs from Don't Care, Didn't Ask are you most excited to perform live?
Oh, to be really honest, I'm scared of a lot of them live because we are better at writing in some ways and we're like so clever.
Mm-hmm.
I love running around so much, and I am like, am I going to be able to breathe and say things and run at the same time? Yet to be seen. No, I think though, I think a little bit of all of it, but uh Dead If I Do is definitely one that I'm really excited to play live. I'm excited for like the energy or just to see like what it garners or if it like translates the way that I feel like it might.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Jane?
Um, yeah, I'm excited. So we've been playing several of them already. So the of the ones that we haven't played yet, I think OK Party is just going to be a fun one where we can just like have a blast on stage. And then and I'm also really excited for Dead If I Do because like I think I might have said this before you got on, Stephanie, but I was explaining how it's like just a rager about the epidemic of male violence. And so I think we have a lot of passion about that and a lot of um emotion to put into that. And so that's oh, it feels really good to scream that one, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that'll be great to scream on stage as well.
Yeah, I agree. Um I'm like being stalked right now, or like I'm like in like a legal
Oh no.
stalked. He's got like 2 felony stalking charges against me and stuff. And so I agree. I think that there's like, I mean, this is just like, it's like I wish I could say this is the first time something that like a guy was shitty and it's not. And I think everybody can feel that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like has that. I would wish that they didn't, but everybody has that experience. And so I agree with Jane in the way that I think that that's like a really powerful song. And holds, yeah, really holds that space for everybody else too.
Yeah. I feel like most women can remember, or most female orienting people can remember the first time they experienced it.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that it's like definitely something that I have conversations like with like my trans friends too, like as they enter this like where it's just like I mean everybody it's just like it's awful. It's just like getting the first experience in any way is just a really terrible one. And I wish that none of us had to. But
Yeah.
I'm grateful that like we can all like hold that to account together, because I think that that's just as important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm sorry you're going through that right now. That sucks.
No, thank you. Not to make it all heavy and stuff, but I think that that's part of it. And I think that like these conversations are good to have because when other people understand that it like happens to people, then they're better off and are more able to protect themselves, I think.
Yeah. It's good to open up that conversation.
Open up this conversation pit.
So before I ask the last question, was there anything that you guys wanted to mention or talk about today?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Your questions have been really good so far. So,
Good.
I think obviously we want people to know that the album comes out October 3rd, um, and that they can stream some of the singles, on all the streaming places now. Um, I don't think so.
Mm.
Stephanie?
Not that I can think of too much. Just, yeah. I mean, we're really, really excited. I think we've always been proud of what we've done together, but I think that there's just like a lot of pride in this because we worked so hard on it together. And there is, like 10 years of love in it. So I'm very excited to share it with everybody.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear it all.
Yay.
So the last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Hmm. Very interesting question. It's like hard because I categorize things so hard. So like for whatever reason, I'm like Tarzan.
Okay.
That makes sense, and I don't know why, but that's like off the hip.
Okay. This might take me a minute, so I hope you can edit this.
Yeah. Which Tarzan?
I mean, obviously the original.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Phil Collins just really outdid himself on that one. I mean, but if we really want to open it up, it could be a lot of Disney.
Yeah. I really, so are we talking about like actual soundtracks or are you trying to keep it
It's
open?
open-ended.
Okay.
It's whatever you want it
Okay.
to be.
Oh, I love that.
Um, I think I would say just a lot of 90s femme-fronted bands, like whether it's Riot Girl or grunge. I loved it all, and that's like what really inspired me to want to be in a band
Hmm.
and to want to like scream on stage and just speak without fear, stop worrying about people pleasing. And so all these bands that I grew up listening to who were doing that, those are that's like the soundtrack to my life because I hear them um and they inspired me to start Cheap Perfume because that's when I was feeling so everything like when you're a teenager
Hmm.
and so kind of carried that with me. So yeah, 90s femme fronted rock, I would say.
I like it.
I love that.
So, for all our listeners who want to stay updated on you guys, hear the new album when it comes out, where can they find you?
We mostly update our Instagram. I think it's also connected to Facebook, so you can probably find stuff there, but we don't really interact. We don't interact with people on Facebook at all. We just don't get on there. But if you want to like interact with us, send us messages or like see our latest things we're talking about doing, shows, releases, then our Instagram is Cheap Perfume Band. And
And I think
yeah,
that like I'm pretty sure that like Bandcamp has like our email address and stuff, but if you're not an Instagram person, then I suppose there's other ways to get in touch. So
yeah, Bandcamp's a good one. And we also put all our lyrics up there because like if you look on Spotify at least, those ones are like AI generated and they try to make you pay extra to actually correct them.
Mm.
Um, oh, speaking of, I think I'm supposed to be doing that for us. Sorry. But we put all our lyrics on our Bandcamp if you're curious what they are.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for talking with me today.
yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Listeners, go check them out and don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky, and TikTok at STO Lives Podcast. Thanks for listening.